1959, Chevy Impala. 20 weird facts you didn't know. If you've ever dreamed of classic cars, you undoubtedly remember an American icon, the 1959 Chevrolet Impala. With its bold batwing design and distinctive low-slung profile, it looked more like a spaceship from the future than a family car, embodying the optimism and forward-thinking spirit of the 50s. But behind that glamorous exterior is a story full of secrets you've never heard. Join us as we uncover shocking truths and strange details about the '59 Impala. You'll never look at this car the same way again. The steering wheel changed because drivers honked too hard. Sometimes the smallest details in car design are profoundly influenced by real-world human behavior, proving that products must adapt to users, not the other way around. The Impala's steering wheel story is a prime example of this unexpected interaction. The 1958 Impala featured a rather unique steering wheel with a circular horn ring affectionately called Swiss cheese, due to its many holes and distinctive shape. However, this design harbored an unforeseen technical flaw that engineers didn't anticipate. The upper part of the horn ring wasn't strong enough, and often broke when drivers pressed the horn too hard or too frequently in chaotic traffic situations. You can imagine an angry driver putting all their force into honking amidst gridlock, and then crack! The horn ring would break, leaving an unpleasant experience. Chevrolet quickly recognized this issue through customer feedback and redesigned the horn ring for the 1959 model to definitively fix this flaw. Instead of retaining the old design, they completely removed the fragile upper half, keeping only the lower part of the horn ring, creating a more subtle semicircular design. This was a simple yet effective solution, correcting the initial design flaw without compromising the steering wheel's overall aesthetic. The roof vent was just decorative. In 1950s car design, aesthetics were often prioritized over practicality, a design philosophy less common today. The 1959 Impala perfectly illustrates this with a very special detail: a small vent on the hardtop roof, a feature that at first glance seemed very modern and convenient. Initially, it appeared to be part of an advanced flow-through ventilation system, designed to bring fresh air into the cabin, keeping the interior airy and comfortable. This vent was originally intended to be functional, aiming to improve the experience for passengers and drivers. Designers wanted to create an effective ventilation system for a fresh interior. However, during rigorous real-world testing, an unexpected problem arose, forcing them to reevaluate the entire design. Due to its position on the roof, the vent ended up in a low-pressure zone when the car traveled at high speeds. Instead of efficiently drawing air in as expected, it actually pushed air back into the car, creating discomfort and failing its original purpose of cooling and circulating air. To quickly and effectively resolve this, GM had to seal this vent before releasing the car to the market, a practical decision to avoid customer complaints. As a result, what was meant to be a functional feature became a purely decorative element, a design line that accented the roof without any practical use. The design battle behind the batwing fins. The distinctive batwing tail fins of the 1959 Impala are one of the boldest and most recognizable design highlights in automotive history, an icon of 1950s glamour and futuristic vision. But few know that to achieve this masterpiece, there was a dramatic creative tug-of-war between two GM giants, legendary stylist Harley Earl and chief engineer Ed Cole. Harley Earl, known as the father of modern automotive design, always pursued beauty, extravagance, and captivating lines. He elevated car styling into an art form beyond mere function. Conversely, Ed Cole, a brilliant and practical engineer, focused on feasibility, technical performance, and mass production. Typically, in product development, engineers try to temper stylists' extravagant ideas to ensure the car performs well, is safe, and easy to manufacture, avoiding cost or durability issues. However, in the case of the 1959 Impala, both Earl and Cole shared a passion for tailfins. They relentlessly carved deeper into clay models, constantly adjusting, expanding, and making the fins more impressive and audacious, each wanting to push the limits further than the other. Instead of restraining each other, they pushed each other beyond the limits of what was considered feasible, creating a tailfin design that was not only iconic, but also embodied GM's spirit of continuous innovation and fearlessness in challenging norms at the time. GM saved money by only finishing half the tailfin. Behind the glamorous and intricate exterior of the 1959 Impala lies a secret of practicality that few realize, a testament to General Motors' clever cost management, a corporation always seeking to optimize production. The iconic batwing tailfin, while appearing seamless and perfect from a distance, actually had an unfinished section, a detail that only the most discerning or those who disassembled the car would ever notice. Each fin was meticulously constructed from two metal sheets joined together. Interestingly, GM only focused on finishing and smoothing the lower part of the fin, the area easily seen and touched when observing the car from the rear or side. Processes like sanding, flattening, and painting were carefully executed to ensure the highest aesthetic quality for this section. Meanwhile, the upper part of the fin, hidden from the direct view of most people when the car was stationary or moving, was left unfinished in terms of surface treatment. The reason behind this decision was simple. Metal finishing was a costly process, requiring significant labor and time. In 1959, smoothing every inch of metal could cost 75 to 80 cents, a substantial amount when multiplied by thousands of mass-produced cars, equivalent to about $7 to $8 in today's value. This way, GM made a smart and practical decision, saving millions of dollars in production costs with virtually no one noticing the difference in visual appeal or overall perceived quality of the car. Have you ever seen or driven a 1959 Impala in real life? What are your memories of it? Share in the comments below. Sharing body shells with Buick and other GM brands. In the modern automotive world, sharing platforms and components between brands is quite common and seen as a cost optimization strategy. However, in the 1950s, this story became more complex, especially with General Motors, GM, and the 1959 Impala. The truth is, GM reused major structural body parts like floor pans, roof lines, front doors, and windshields between the Impala and other sibling brands such as Buick, Oldsmobile, and Pontiac. This might sound surprising as each brand had its own distinct identity. The reason behind this decision stemmed from a serious design crisis in the mid-50s. In 1957, GM's biggest rival, Chrysler, launched its modern forward-look models with groundbreaking designs that were much longer, lower, and more aerodynamic than anything GM had. This sent GM into a panic, realizing they were falling behind and needed an urgent change to maintain their market leadership. To catch up and avoid being defeated, GM was forced to urgently redesign all 1959 models in a very short period, just 2 years, a feat in the automotive industry at the time. Unique cat-eye taillights. If there's one detail that could instantly make you recognize a 1959 Impala from behind, it's its taillight assembly. Completely different from the familiar round shape of the 1958 model, the 1959 Impala's taillights made a strong design statement, bearing the hallmarks of innovation and boldness. They had an elongated oval shape, slightly pointed at both ends, a unique design quickly dubbed cat-eye taillights by car enthusiasts for their sharp and mysterious look. This wasn't just a minor change, but a revolution in style, marking a shift in Chevrolet's design language. There were usually 2 sets of 3 lights on each side, creating an impressive and mysterious light bar when the car moved at night, drawing every eye. This design not only solidified the Impala's position as a 1950s design icon, but also reflected the era's trend, where boldness, modernity, and a touch of futurism were highly valued, especially amidst the escalating space race. Headlights lowered to the legal minimum. In an effort to create a car with a low-slung, aerodynamic, and bold appearance, the designers of the 1959 Impala didn't hesitate to push the boundaries of legal regulations. This was one of the rare instances where aesthetics heavily influenced a critical safety component like headlights, demonstrating Chevrolet's determination to create a unique style. The 1959 Impala's headlights were lowered by 7 inches compared to previous models, and remarkably, they reached the lowest level permitted by US law at the time. This decision wasn't just about minimal compliance, it was a calculated design choice to serve the car's overall aesthetic goal. The primary purpose was to reinforce the car's lower, longer, wider philosophy, delivering a modern, powerful look and making the car feel like it was hugging the road. As a result, the 1959 Impala's headlights were so low that at night, you could recognize this car just by its unique headlights. Like 2 eyes gliding down the road, an unmistakable image. The combination of strict regulatory compliance and bold design goals created an undeniable identifier, turning the 1959 Impala into a street legend, an icon of breaking conventions and pioneering in the golden era of the American auto industry. The lowest seating position in a full-size American car. In the 1950s, American car design heavily shifted towards lower, longer, and wider, aiming for an aerodynamic and modern appearance, reflecting the jet age and a fascination with speed. The 1959 Impala pioneered this trend, boasting the lowest seating position compared to any full-size American car of its time. With an overall vehicle height of just 55.9 inches, about 142 centimeters, The Impala looked like it was gliding on the road, creating an incredibly luxurious and sporty feel. To achieve this impressive low height, engineers had to mount the seats almost directly to the floor, a technique that required a complete rearrangement of the interior space. This not only created a smoother, lower-slung appearance, but also gave drivers a dynamic, sporty driving feel. A novel and exhilarating experience for a full-size family car, typically designed for comfort and spaciousness. However, this bold design also came with a real challenge. Getting in and out of the car could be quite difficult for older individuals or those wearing formal attire, especially women in long dresses or men in elegant suits. Imagine having to gracefully jump in and out of the car while wearing a suit or an evening gown. It could lead to quite a few comical situations. Ramjet fuel injection was dropped in 1959. Before electronic fuel injection became as ubiquitous as it is today, Chevrolet was once a pioneer with its advanced ramjet system, a true breakthrough in engine technology. On the 1957 and 1958 Impala models, this system offered significant benefits, increasing horsepower and improving throttle response, delivering a more powerful and exciting driving experience compared to traditional carbureted engines. This was truly a remarkable technological achievement at the time, promising a bright future for fuel management. However, by 1959, a surprising decision was made. The ramjet option on the Impala was completely eliminated, much to the astonishment of many tech enthusiasts. There were three main reasons for this change, highlighting the barriers advanced technology often faces. First, the production cost of the ramjet system was too high, making it economically unfeasible for a mainstream car like the Impala, which targeted a broader market with more affordable pricing. Adding this option would have driven the car's price too high, exceeding the affordability of most target customers. Second, maintenance complexity was another major hurdle. Mechanics at the time were unfamiliar with electronic fuel injection technology, leading to difficulties in repair and servicing, causing inconvenience and expense for owners. Finally, buyers weren't ready to embrace such new and expensive technology in their family cars, preferring simplicity and ease of repair over superior performance. As a result, the Impala had to wait decades for EFE, electronic fuel injection, technology to truly return and become widespread, proving that market acceptance is a key factor. Meanwhile, the Corvette sports car retained the ramjet option for a few more years, as Corvette customers were typically performance enthusiasts, willing to pay for advanced technology despite the complexity and cost. Canadian Pontiacs were actually Chevys in disguise. The history of the automotive industry isn't confined to national borders. Tax regulations and trade policies sometimes create unique and lesser-known car variations, offering intriguing stories for classic car collectors. One such story concerns the 1959 Pontiacs sold in Canada, and the truth behind them might surprise many. The surprising fact is that many 1959 Pontiacs in Canada, with familiar names like Parisien, Laurentien, or Stratochief, were actually built on a Chevrolet Impala chassis. This might seem strange, as American Pontiacs were known for their spacious and distinctive wide-track chassis, providing stable handling and a commanding presence. The reason behind this disguise was very practical and economic. To avoid high import taxes on automotive components from the US and to save on local production costs, GM Canada decided to reuse Chevrolet's chassis and drivetrain, which were already manufactured and assembled in Canada. This significantly reduced input costs and product prices, making Pontiacs more competitive in the Canadian market. However, this led to a strange aesthetic result that only experts would notice. Chevy's chassis, being shorter and narrower than the American Pontiac's wide-track frame, sometimes caused the wheels not to sit perfectly centered in the wheel wells, creating a somewhat awkward and unbalanced stance for some Canadian Pontiac models. Still with us on this nostalgic journey? Drop a yes in the comments so we know you're enjoying it. The notorious weak X-frame chassis. Beneath the dazzling metal shell and groundbreaking design of the 1959 Impala was a controversial engineering decision: the use of an X-frame chassis instead of the traditional perimeter frame. The X-frame was considered an improvement at the time, promising a lighter design and allowing for a lower floor, fitting the lower, longer trend GM was pursuing. In theory, it offered several benefits in terms of space and weight. However, in real-world use, many owners reported the lack of rigidity of the structure, especially under less than ideal driving conditions. One of the most common stories that became legendary was that the car doors could not be opened if the vehicle was parked on uneven terrain, such as when one wheel was stuck in a pothole or parked at an angle on the sidewalk. This indicated that the frame could twist slightly under the force of gravity or torsion, subtly deforming the body structure and affecting door operation. A rather inconvenient and sometimes frustrating issue. Although the X-frame was considered safe by the standards of the time and passed necessary tests, many experts and car enthusiasts later evaluated it as a weakness in structural rigidity compared to the stronger perimeter frame. This not only affected the driving feel, potentially making the car less stable at high speeds or when cornering, but also raised questions about the car's long-term durability. The X-frame became a slight blemish on the 1959 Impala's reputation. Though it couldn't overshadow the car's overall beauty and appeal, it remains a significant detail often mentioned by connoisseurs. The shift from sporty to full-fledged family car. The Impala wasn't always the grand, standalone model line we know today. Initially in 1958, the Impala was merely a high-end, sporty trim version of the Bel Air line, another popular Chevrolet model. It was designed to add a touch of glamour, style, and exclusivity for those who wanted something more special than a standard Bel Air, an upgrade package to attract younger, style-conscious buyers. However, everything changed dramatically in 1959. Chevrolet recognized the Impala's immense potential and decided to upgrade it into a complete standalone model line, no longer just a variant of the Bel Air. This was a crucial strategic move, marking the birth of a legend and one of the company's most successful models. To broaden its appeal and reach a larger customer base, Chevrolet not only retained the highly popular coupe and convertible body styles, but also added more popular family body styles such as four-door sedans and four-door hardtops. This change helped the Impala attract a wide range of customers, not just those seeking a sporty, distinctive car, but anyone desiring a stylish, luxurious, and practical full-size car for the entire family, with ample space and premium amenities. This laid the foundation for the Impala's resounding success in the following decades, making it one of America's best-selling cars and an indispensable cultural icon in the minds of Americans. Revolutionary Flexomatic six-way power seats. In an era when in-car amenities were still quite limited, with most cars having only basic manual seats, the 1959 Impala made an astonishing breakthrough with its seating system, elevating the driving experience to a whole new level. The car's interior was equipped with a brand new six-way power-adjustable seating system, futuristically named Flexomatic. Imagine in 1959 when most cars only had basic manual fore, aft, or sometimes manual recline seats. Flexomatic offered a completely different level of convenience, a true luxury at the time. This system allowed the driver not only to move the seat fore-aft along the floor, but also to adjust it up and down for the ideal height, and even precisely control the recline and headrest with a simple button. This was a very modern and premium feature for its time, a testament to Chevrolet's focus on user experience, luxury, and the desire to provide maximum comfort for long journeys. Being able to adjust the seat in so many directions significantly enhanced driver comfort, helping them find the ideal position, reducing fatigue and increasing concentration while driving. Advanced Speedminder speed warning system. In an era where cruise control technology wasn't yet widespread, the 1959 Impala introduced an incredibly advanced active safety feature for its era, the Speedminder system. This demonstrated that Chevrolet was not only concerned with design and performance, but also prioritized driver safety and responsibility on the road, a vision far ahead of its time. The Speedminder system allowed the driver to set a specific speed on the speedometer through a simple yet effective mechanism. This was typically done by moving a secondary needle or a small adjustment ring on the gauge to select the desired speed limit. When the car exceeded the set speed, a small chime would sound to gently but clearly warn the driver. This was not an automatic speed reduction system or an intervention in the driving process, but a gentle reminder to help the driver maintain a reasonable speed and avoid traffic violations, especially on increasingly developing highways. The purpose of Speedminder was to encourage safer driving in the context of rising highway speeds, where maintaining speed could become challenging. It was an early form of a driving assistant, an important stepping stone before modern electronic cruise control systems emerged, demonstrating Chevrolet's foresight in traffic safety and responsible driving experiences, laying the foundation for future safety technologies. What feature on the 1959 Impala, or any other classic car, surprises or excites you the most? Let me know in the comments. The car's name was inspired by wildlife. When we think of classic car names, we often associate them with majestic places like Colorado or Sierra, the names of great founders like Ford or Ferrari, or words signifying power and speed like Challenger or Mustang. However, with the 1959 Chevrolet Impala, the story behind the name is surprisingly interesting and different. It wasn't a famous road, a great person, or a fabricated word. Instead, the car's name was inspired by the agile African Impala antelope. Imagine a wild animal, graceful in appearance, yet possessing incredible speed. Impala antelopes can run at speeds up to 50 miles per hour. Chevrolet cleverly linked these characteristics to its car, not just in terms of speed, but also elegance and agility in motion. Although the 1959 Impala could exceed 100 miles per hour, mechanically surpassing the antelope, the spirit of agility, grace, and power was clearly conveyed through the name. Choosing a name from the natural world helped Chevrolet create a powerful image. The car was not only beautiful, but also possessed impressive performance, a combination of art and strength. It evoked a sense of freedom, wildness, and a touch of mystery, perfectly aligning with the free-spirited, adventurous atmosphere of the 1950s, an era when America was booming with street culture and optimism. This uniqueness and memorability helped position the Impala as one of America's greatest automotive icons, creating an interesting story whenever someone asked about the name's origin. Crazy prototypes that were scrapped. The car design process is not always straightforward. Behind every masterpiece like the 1959 Impala lies a treasure trove of crazy, discarded ideas, bold prototypes that never saw the light of the production line. Designers at General Motors, GM at the time, didn't hesitate to experiment with extreme concepts to find a groundbreaking style for the 1959 model. A challenging year with fierce competition. They wanted to create a car that was not only beautiful, but also aesthetically superior to its rivals. Before the final design we know today, GM's design team created many extreme clay models for testing and visualization. One version featured 4 stacked headlights right in the center of the grille, making the car look like a robot from the future rather than an elegant family car. This image, though bold, was too far removed from reality and could have made brand recognition difficult. Another prototype had twin tailfins, one horizontal, one vertical, reminiscent of jet aircraft designs of the era, expressing the obsession with space and speed, a post-World War II desire to reach for the sky. However, this complexity and somewhat futuristic nature might have made the car cumbersome and difficult to mass produce. And of course, there were designs with too much chrome, sparkling to the point of making the car feel heavy, losing its elegance and potentially dazzling oncoming drivers. These models, though not chosen, showcase the boldness and boundless creativity of designers at the time. Ultimately, the 1959 Impala we know is a safer version, but it still retained its unique and bold character from those initial ideas, demonstrating a delicate balance between artistic innovation and market commercialization for the general public. Astronomical value, even when dilapidated, even without an engine. Typically, when we talk about the value of a classic car, we envision perfectly restored, shiny, and original vehicles, carefully preserved over time. However, with the 1959 Impala convertible, the story defies all conventional rules and logic about classic car value. Although not rare in terms of original production numbers, with over 72,000 convertibles rolled out in 1959, a fairly large number, its value still astonishes many. It's hard to believe, but a 1959 Impala convertible in junk condition, with a tattered interior, a shredded top offering no shelter, and even lacking an engine and transmission, meaning it couldn't move, was recently auctioned for up to $88,500, a staggering sum for what many ordinary people would consider a pile of scrap metal. What's the reason behind this astronomical value? Despite not being rare in numbers, the 1959 Impala is still an incredibly sought-after foundation for restoration or customization projects. Classic car enthusiasts and customizers see in this wreck a perfect blank canvas, an opportunity to personally create a masterpiece to their liking, rather than starting with an already perfect car with little room for personal creativity. Customizers prefer wrecks as a blank canvas. Continuing the story of the unexpected value of wrecked Impalas, let's explore why experts and customizers particularly love these seemingly useless cars, transforming them into unique works of art. John Wiley, an expert from Hagerty, a reputable classic car insurance company, explained that many people buy Impalas in poor condition to personally restore or customize them from start to finish, a process requiring patience, skill, and intense passion. For professional customizers and true enthusiasts, an original Impala, even if ravaged by time, still retains its original structure and components. This is an extremely important advantage as it provides an accurate template to work with. The original lines of the chassis, the remaining metal parts, even if rusted, still serve as a solid foundation for the recreation process. Instead of having to find and assemble mismatched parts from various sources, they can use what remains of the car as a basis for their own ideas, ensuring the authenticity and precision of the restoration. Missing or severely damaged parts can easily be purchased in the growing classic car parts market or remanufactured to original specifications with absolute precision. This capability transforms a wreck into a perfect blank canvas, where limitless creativity can flourish, from choosing paint colors and interiors to technical details. This not only brings the joy of restoration, but also creates unique custom cars that bear the owner's personal imprint, thereby elevating the Impala's value and story, making it a living legacy. A Restomod Impala can be worth over $300,000. We've just discussed the value of wrecked Impalas for those who want to restore them. So, what about those that have already been completed? A perfectly original restored 1959 Impala recently sold for $220,000, an impressive figure that shows the appeal of originality. But that's not the peak of value an Impala can reach. In the classic car world, a rising trend is Restomod, a combination of restoration and modification. 1959 Impalas customized in this style not only retain their classic beauty and iconic 1950s design lines, but are also equipped with 21st century technology and performance, creating a perfect blend of past and present. They are upgraded with more powerful engines, often high-horsepower V8s from modern cars, smoother automatic transmissions for a comfortable driving experience, modern disc brake systems for enhanced safety, improved suspension systems for better handling and ride comfort, and luxurious, comfortable interiors with premium materials and modern entertainment technology. All these upgrades transform the car into a machine that possesses both captivating vintage beauty and delivers a modern, safe, and comfortable driving experience like a new car. Therefore, exquisitely crafted Restomod Impalas, with attention to every detail and superior quality, can reach values over $300,000 at auctions or in the high-end classic car market. This is proof that the combination of past and present can create extraordinary value, turning a classic icon into a unique masterpiece on modern streets, possessing both historical and futuristic appeal. 2 different rear bumpers, depending on the region. To conclude our journey into the secrets of the 1959 Impala, let's look at another small but interesting detail, demonstrating GM's manufacturing flexibility and how they customize products for different markets. This is the existence of 2 different types of rear bumpers depending on the distribution region of the car. The truth is, the 1959 Impala could be equipped with either a 1-piece rear bumper or a 3-piece bumper. Aesthetically, the 1-piece bumper offered a more seamless and elegant look, creating a unified appearance for the entire rear of the car, perfectly matching the Impala's low, long, and wide design. And as expected, cars sold in California and Canada often featured this 1-piece bumper, possibly due to aesthetic preference or specific regional regulations. However, the rest of the American market received the 3-piece bumper. The reason behind this distribution was not just about aesthetics, but also a practical decision concerning economics and repair logistics. The 3-piece bumper significantly reduced repair costs. If a part of the bumper was damaged due to a minor collision, only that damaged section, for example, one bumper wing, needed to be replaced instead of the entire rear bumper, saving considerable time and money for the car owner. This again shows that GM carefully considered eye-catching design, production costs, and long-term maintainability, creating subtle variations suited to specific markets, a strategy that car manufacturers still employ today to optimize business efficiency and customer satisfaction. The 1950s, a golden age of post-war optimism in America, where cars were not just a means of transportation, but also status symbols, style statements, and bold visions of the future. Automakers raced to create machines that looked like they rolled straight out of a sci-fi movie. But alongside every design triumph, there were always disasters. Today, we're going to explore 30 of the dumbest cars of the 50s that you might have never seen. 1953, Willys Aero. Our journey begins with the 1953 Willys Aero, a small car manufactured by Willys Overland in the United States. This car was equipped with an inline 6-cylinder engine, producing about 91 horsepower. What made it stand out from its contemporaries was its unique shape. Soft curves instead of sharp angles, a sloping roofline, and rounded shapes where other cars often had more angular details. Inside, the car had enough seating for 5 people, and the layout and features were quite simple compared to larger American cars of the era. However, the 1953 Willys Aero is often considered one of the worst cars of its time because of its underpowered engine. With just 91 horsepower, it was deemed weak compared to the larger, more powerful cars popular in the 50s. Additionally, the Aero's design was seen as outdated and unappealing compared to newer, more compact models from other manufacturers. These challenges made it difficult for the Willys Aero's sales, and ultimately, production ceased just a few years later in 1955. This led many to consider the car an unsuccessful business venture and one of the least successful American cars of that decade. 1954, Hudson Jet. The 1954 Hudson Jet was a small car produced by the Hudson Motor Car Company to compete with another popular compact car of the time, the Nash Rambler. It had a 6-cylinder engine, producing about 104 horsepower, and came with 2 transmission types, manual or hydromatic automatic. The interior was simple but functional, with room for 6 people. Externally, its boxy, straightforward shape and lack of intricate details earned it the nickname Dull Beige Box. The Hudson Jet made it onto the list of worst cars because it faced several issues that hurt its reputation. It encountered fierce competition in the small car segment and had high production costs. Furthermore, its design was unappealing and its performance didn't meet people's expectations. To add to that, Hudson merged with Nash Kelvinator around that time to become American Motors Corporation, which led to a short production run for the Jet before it was completely discontinued. 1957 Ford Skyliner, retractable. The 1957 Ford Skyliner was a unique and truly innovative model, becoming America's first mass-produced large retractable hardtop convertible. The mechanism behind this design was highly complex, allowing for seamless conversion from a closed-roof mode to open-air driving. The Skyliner was priced at $2,942 during production, and 20,766 units were manufactured. It featured a Y-block Thunderbird V8 engine, producing 212 horsepower. The car weighed about 2 tons or 3,916 pounds and had a wheelbase of over 9 feet. However, the 1957 Ford Skyliner faced several issues. Its retractable hardtop mechanism was extremely complex, with over 600 parts that constantly caused malfunctions and breakdowns. This complicated roof system also made the car heavier, affecting its road handling and negatively impacting overall performance. Maintaining and repairing issues related to the complex roof was also costly and time-consuming. Furthermore, despite its innovative design, the Skyliner didn't sell as many units as Ford had hoped in 1957, with only 20,766 units produced. The car's high price and complexity made it less appealing to consumers compared to traditional convertible models. 1955, Dodge LaFemme. The 1955 Dodge LaFemme was a large car designed by Dodge specifically for women. It shared the same engine and transmission with other standard models, including a powerful V8 engine, likely around 185 horsepower, and either a 3-speed manual or a 2-speed automatic transmission. The LaFemme featured unique sapphire white and heather rose colors. The interior and accessories were also color-coordinated to appeal to female buyers. It came with several additional accessories like a matching purse, raincoat, and rain hat, along with other fashion accessories women typically liked. However, this car's design focused more on cosmetic or beauty items, rather than delivering high style and performance as expected from cars in its segment. Sadly, it wasn't very successful because it was designed based on outdated ideas about women, instead of focusing on what women actually wanted and needed in a car. Instead of ensuring the car performed well and was easy to use, they concentrated on adding elaborate accessories that weren't very practical. Everyone agreed it wasn't worth buying, considering it just a marketing gimmick rather than something useful for female drivers. The LaFemme was only produced for 2 years, and dealers sold just 2,500 units. 1950, Nash Airflight. The 1950 Nash Airflight was a unique and distinctive car designed by Nash Motors. It was equipped with a 3.8-liter inline 6-cylinder engine, producing around 112 horsepower. This made it very easy and reliable to drive. Buyers could choose between a standard 3-speed manual transmission or a custom-installed hydromatic automatic transmission. The Airflight's interior offered ample space and was quite comfortable, with a unique feature where the front seats could convert into a full-sized bed for resting or sleeping, along with plenty of storage. In terms of exterior, this car had a distinctive rounded design with sweeping curves which helped with fuel economy. However, despite its innovative features, the 1950 Nash Airflight is often considered one of the worst cars of its time. Its unique design was polarizing and not universally loved. Additionally, due to its heavy body and aerodynamic shape, it didn't handle or perform well compared to other cars. Some Airflight owners also reported issues with the transmission and other mechanical components. As a result, its sales were poor and it was unpopular with consumers. 1956, Studebaker Golden Hawk. The 1956 Studebaker Golden Hawk was one of Studebaker's most important models that year, surprisingly making it onto this list. It was equipped with a 352 cubic inch Packard V8 engine, producing 275 horsepower. Buyers could choose between manual or automatic transmissions, both with 3 speeds. The Golden Hawk's interior featured a unique engine-turn dashboard design and more options compared to previous Studebaker Speedster models. However, to cut costs, some standard features like turn signals became optional extras. Externally, it resembled other Hawk models in the 1956 lineup, but was a distinct model. Unfortunately, despite many considering the 1956 Studebaker Golden Hawk a great car, it was ranked among the worst cars of that era. The main reason was Studebaker Packard's difficulty competing with major automakers like GM, Ford, and Chrysler. This impacted how they produced and sold the Golden Hawk. Additionally, the car's price was higher than comparable cars in its segment, which might have deterred potential buyers. Studebaker also decided to cut costs on the Golden Hawk by reducing standard features compared to the previous Speedster model, which some viewed as a cost-cutting measure that affected its design and appearance. The styling of Studebaker Hawk models from 1956 to 1961 also drew mixed opinions, with some finding them to look bulky or overly ornate, not fitting the original Lowy coupe styling. 1950, Crossley Hotshot. 1951, Crossley Supersport. The 1950 Crossley Hotshot was a small, lightweight sports car created by the American manufacturer Crossley Corporation, known for producing compact, affordable vehicles. This car featured a 4-cylinder engine with 26.5 horsepower and a 4-speed manual transmission. On the exterior, it had a convertible design and a nimble feel with a short wheelbase. There was only enough room for 2 people inside and not many comfort features. However, this tiny car could accelerate up to 70 miles per hour thanks to its light body and agile handling. Sadly, the Crossley Hotshot is often recognized as one of the least desirable American cars for a few reasons. First, its small 44 cubic inch engine didn't provide much power, making it weaker and slower than other vehicles. Furthermore, the Hotshot was notorious for having quality and reliability issues, such as leaky transmissions or ill-fitting parts, leading to poor finish. Additionally, the Crossley Hotshot wasn't popular with American car buyers at the time due to its small size, low power, and basic interior. It wasn't viewed as a practical vehicle, but rather more of a novelty item. As a result, both the Crossley Hotshot and other Crossley models failed to achieve commercial success, leading the company to cease operations just a few years later, in 1952. 1957, Rambler Rebel. The 1957 Rambler Rebel might be a surprising entry on this list. Manufactured by American Motors Corporation, it belonged to the mid-size car segment. Its engine was quite impressive, with a powerful 327 cubic inch V8 engine, boosting its output to 255 horsepower compared to the standard model, which must have been exciting at the time. The car offered 2 transmission choices, manual or automatic, both 3-speed. The Rebel was designed with a simple yet practical interior layout, capable of seating up to 6 passengers, with bench seats in the front and rear, which was standard for cars of that era. Its appearance stood out from other mid-size cars due to its distinctive shape, with a low hood and a short rear deck, giving it an appealing look. Although the Rebel was an impressive car, it gained a bad reputation in 1957. This was because it wasn't very popular and only about 1,500 units were produced that year, not many compared to other cars on the market. Some even argued that it couldn't be classified as a muscle car because its body style didn't resemble what would later be expected from muscle cars. So, despite the Rebel having some great capabilities, it ultimately failed commercially, and people still debate whether its classification fits today's idea of a muscle car. Furthermore, there were reports that the Rebel suffered from low quality and reliability issues, which hampered its market success. 1957 King Midget Model 3. The 1957 King Midget Model 3 was described as a parody of a car. Designed to be a minimalist, ultra-cheap vehicle, it could be ordered by mail and assembled at home. This car featured a basic steel frame, thin body panels, no doors, and tiny wheels. Its single-cylinder engine produced only 9.2 horsepower, making reaching 50 miles per hour almost impossible. Owners likened it to driving a lawnmower with turn signals. The braking and handling were extremely poor, giving the sensation of a shopping cart on ice. More importantly, it had absolutely no safety features whatsoever. No crumple zones, no seat belts, no real bumpers. In a collision, the driver could be politely ejected. This was truly a weird American dream. 1950, Allstate by Sears. The 1950 Allstate by Sears was one of the strangest and most misguided attempts in American car sales history. Essentially, it was a rebadged Henry J, which was already one of the most basic cars. Sears sold them through catalogs and department stores. The car was equipped with either a 68 horsepower 4-cylinder or an 80 horsepower 6-cylinder engine, but its acceleration was dangerously slow. More importantly, the Allstate lacked most basic features. No power steering, no power brakes, no armrests, no radio, no heater, and notably no rear trunk lid. You had to fold the rear seat down and crawl in to access luggage. The car had flimsy sheet metal bodywork, paint that easily chipped and quickly developed rattles. Sales were abysmal, with only about 1,300 units sold in 2 years, and most stores quietly stopped selling the car. 1957, Dodge Custom Royal, torsion air suspension. The 1957 Dodge Custom Royal was part of Chrysler's ambitious forward-look design, promising a revolution in ride quality. The new torsion air suspension was advertised to provide a smoother ride and superior cornering ability. However, due to being rushed into production to compete with GM and Ford, this system revealed serious reliability issues. The torsion bars often sagged prematurely, seized, or broke, leading to unpredictable steering and, in the worst cases, could cause the car to lose control and spin out at high speeds. The car had a strange floating sensation, excessive body roll, numb steering, causing nauseating instability. Additionally, the overall build quality was poor, with loose welds, misaligned body panels, water leaks, and electrical problems, all contributing to its reputation as one of the worst cars ever produced. 1950 Nash Rambler. The 1950 Nash Rambler was a small car produced by Nash Motors during the first 4 years of the 50s. Its 6-cylinder engine could only generate 82 horsepower, which wasn't very powerful. The interior of the Nash Rambler featured a modern and sleek design, comfortable for 4 people, along with a unique wraparound windshield. The car's exterior had a distinctive bathtub shape with sweeping curves that gave it an unmistakable look. While the Nash Rambler might have been revolutionary due to its compact, fuel-efficient structure, it wasn't truly popular. Many found the engine weak and struggled when climbing hills or carrying heavy loads without bogging down. Moreover, due to its low profile and lightweight structure, the car shook a lot when cornering or driving fast, which was quite frightening. The Nash Rambler also encountered numerous mechanical and reliability issues, such as problems with the transmission, suspension, and electrical system. All these issues made the car less reliable compared to its competitors. The interior space was quite small, limiting its cargo capacity, making it impractical for most buyers compared to the larger American sedan models of that era. All these factors contributed to the 1950 Nash Rambler's reputation as one of the worst cars ever produced. 1958 Edsel Corsair. The 1958 Edsel Corsair, a Ford model, was intended to be the upscale segment for the new Edsel brand. However, it turned out to be one of the most notorious failures in American automotive history. The car's design was heavily criticized, especially its horse-collar grille, which was mocked as weird and ugly. The Corsair was also an engineering nightmare, with its infamous Teletouch automatic transmission frequently malfunctioning and causing drivers to accidentally shift gears when they intended to honk. The build quality was poor, with misaligned body panels, uneven paint, and missing parts straight from the factory. With an expensive price tag and launched during an economic recession, the Edsel failed to attract customers, leading to abysmal sales. It became a national joke and caused a massive loss for Ford. 1953 Kaiser Dragon. The 1953 Kaiser Dragon was a bizarre fever dream in the automotive industry, a last-ditch effort by an independent manufacturer. Dubbed an over-the-top luxury barge, it featured a damp vinyl roof and performance that was like a deflating air mattress. Despite being equipped with a 226 cubic inch inline 6-cylinder engine, it only produced a feeble 118 horsepower, and the Hydromatic automatic transmission sucked away what little life the engine had left. The car was sluggish under acceleration, taking over 15 seconds to reach 60 miles per hour. The bamboo-patterned vinyl interior looked like a tiki bar exploded, and the padded vinyl roof soaked up water like a sponge, smelling like a swamp for days. The car's exterior was also controversial, with a gaping fish mouth grille and odd proportions. This car was a combination of ambition, desperation, and mediocrity. 1957 Mercury Turnpike Cruiser. The 1957 Mercury Turnpike Cruiser was a car designed to be a symbol of the future, but ultimately became a cautionary tale from the past. It was packed with a host of gadgets and electronic toys that engineers could possibly cram in. However, many of these systems either didn't work from the start or stopped functioning after just a few months. For instance, the roof-mounted air intakes were often ineffective and sometimes even leaked water. The retracting rear window also turned the interior into a wind tunnel or a rain trap. This car was a massive, oversized machine with mediocre mechanical components, making driving it sluggish and unagile. The driving experience was poor with vague steering, excessive body roll, and weak brakes. Lax quality control was also a major issue. Ultimately, this car became a joke and was quickly discontinued. 1950 Ford Crestliner. The 1950 Ford Crestliner was Ford's attempt to make a splash in the post-war automotive boom, advertised as stylish with its standout feature, a black vinyl roof. However, the car was merely all sizzle and no steak. Under the hood was a 239 cubic inch flathead V8 engine, producing only 100 horsepower, providing modest acceleration performance. It featured drum brakes and a basic suspension system, with no standard power steering or power brakes. The interior was nothing special compared to cheaper versions. The vinyl roof was polarizing, some found it chic, but many others considered it cheap and flashy. The Crestliner was seen as prioritizing looks over actual substance, having no clear advantages over its competitors. Ultimately, sales quickly declined, and the car faded into obscurity. 1951 Mercury Monterey. The 1951 Mercury Monterey had the look of a movie star. Sleek lines, a wide chrome grille, and a formal roofline exuding style. Ford positioned it as a step up from their basic sedans, but still below Lincoln, targeting middle-class buyers seeking a touch of luxury. Aesthetically, the Monterey truly delivered, looking like the kind of coupe a movie star would drive. Stylish and modern. But when you actually drove it, the problems began. Under the hood was a 255 cubic inch flathead V8 engine producing 112 horsepower, adequate for city driving, but far from exciting. Weighing in at around 3,500 pounds, the Monterey struggled to move quickly. Accelerating from 0 to 60 miles per hour took 18.2 seconds, and the quarter-mile stretched to over 22 seconds. The suspension was inherited from basic Ford models with independent coil springs up front, leaf springs in the rear, and four-wheel drum brakes. Handling was sluggish, with heavy steering and significant body roll in corners. The interior was luxurious but lacked innovation or standout technology compared to cheaper competitors. With its higher price, no notable technology, and poor performance, the Monterey quickly faded from the spotlight. 1956 DeSoto Adventurer. With the name Adventurer, DeSoto wanted to sell this car to thrill seekers, speed enthusiasts, those craving something bold and new. And to be fair, the 1956 Adventurer certainly looked the part. Its sweeping curves, glistening chrome, and striking two-tone paint made the car visually impressive. Unfortunately, the speed was only skin-deep. Advertised as a high-performance coupe to compete with the Corvette and Thunderbird, the Adventurer boasted a powerful Hemi 5.8 engine with over 300 horsepower. Impressive on paper, but behind the wheel it was a different story. Its soft suspension, weak brakes, and heavy chassis made for floaty and completely unsportsmanlike handling. Buyers expecting a true muscle coupe instead got a car that looked fast, but drove like a family sedan. This disconnect between advertising and reality proved fatal. In the booming high-performance car market of the 1950s, the Adventurer failed to deliver where it mattered most and quickly faded away. 1958 Lincoln Continental Mark III. Some cars make you feel like royalty behind the wheel, but the Mark III made you feel like you were commanding a battleship. Nearly 20 feet long and weighing over 5,000 pounds, the Lincoln Continental Mark III was the definition of excess in both form and function. Lincoln aimed to challenge Cadillac with a top-tier luxury model. They equipped it with impressive features for the time: 6-way power seats, a power trunk, power windows. On paper, it was cutting edge, but in reality, everything was too heavy, too weak, or both. Its boxy design, stubby tail fins, and tank-like front end made the Mark III look more like a fortress than a luxury car. And when driven, its massive 430 cubic inch V8 engine couldn't overcome its weight or its astonishingly poor fuel economy. Priced at nearly $6,000 at the time, over $65,000 today, the Mark III competed directly with the Cadillac Eldorado, but lacked the refinement to win that battle. Today, the Mark III is not remembered for its success, but for representing an era when automakers believed that bigger automatically meant better, and they were wrong. 1950 Davis Divan. The 1950 Davis Divan was one of the strangest and most notorious failures in American automotive history. Its unique three-wheel design with a single front wheel for steering created catastrophic handling issues, making the car extremely unstable when cornering and prone to lifting one side when driving over 20 miles per hour. The interior was impractical, with the driver seated off-center, no real dashboard, and absolutely no attention to comfort or safety. Even the windshield wipers had to be operated manually. The car's performance was ridiculous, with its four-cylinder engine producing just 40 horsepower, leading to sluggish acceleration and a wobbly ride. Furthermore, the company was built on hype and fraud. Founder Gary Davis was convicted of grand theft and fraud. Ultimately, only 13 cars were produced. 1958 Renault Dauphine. The 1958 Renault Dauphine, advertised as a sophisticated European option, faced countless flaws upon its arrival in America. The US market version was equipped with a rear-mounted four-cylinder engine, producing a paltry 32 horsepower, leading to extremely sluggish acceleration. 0 to 60 miles per hour took over 30 seconds. Its tiny drum brakes were completely inadequate, and its handling was erratic and unpredictable. A famous contemporary test noted it drove like a unicycle on ice. The Dauphine also experienced reliability issues in the American climate. Prone to rust, poor cooling, constantly overheating, electrical failures, and a finicky transmission. It wasn't just slow, it was fragile and unsuited to the expectations of American drivers. Have you ever thought a car could have so many problems? Comment yes if you've experienced similar issues with your own car. 1959 Buick LeSabre. The 1959 Buick LeSabre was a design masterpiece of the 1950s, with wild tail fins, a long body, and countless chrome accents. However, hidden beneath that glamorous exterior was a heavy, sluggish car. Its Dayflow transmission was notorious for sapping the performance potential of the V8 engine, making the car sigh rather than surge forward when accelerating. The LeSabre also carried nearly 200 pounds of decorative chrome, a massive amount of unnecessary bling that further diminished the car's overall performance. The driving experience was likened to piloting a battleship, as the car floated aimlessly rather than gripping the road, providing a loose and numb sensation. The luxurious interior was impractical, with large plush seats that lacked real support during movement. This car was a symbol of excess in automotive design, appearing fast but moving slowly like molasses. 1955 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz. In the golden age of American extravagance, the 1955 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz was the king of opulence, a two-door convertible with gleaming chrome, gold accents, and proud tailfin styling. It looked like success on four wheels, but once you hit the road, the illusion began to fade. The car was equipped with a 331 cubic inch OHV V8 engine, producing 270 horsepower. Weighing nearly 4,900 pounds, its performance was less than impressive. Accelerating from 0 to 60 miles per hour took over 13 seconds, and the quarter mile stretched into the high 20-second range. The car was luxurious but sluggish. The suspension, featuring independent coil springs up front and semi-elliptic leaf springs in the rear, was built more for show than for control. The brakes were conventional four-wheel drums, hardly adequate to rein in the Biarritz's mass. It drove like a yacht and cornered like one, too. The interior featured full leather upholstery, a wraparound windshield, and even gold-plated accents. But the Biarritz's price was over $6,200 in 1955, equivalent to nearly $70,000 today. That money bought flashiness, not performance. There was no real innovation, no groundbreaking technology, no superior performance, just ostentation. The Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz was certainly a status symbol, but it also represented the idea of buying luxury for the image, not for the substance. and visually impressive car, but ultimately a luxurious toy built for display rather than practical use. 1959. Cadillac Eldorado Brougham. With a starting price of over $13,000, equivalent to $135,000 today, the 1959 Cadillac Eldorado Brougham cost more than an average house. The reason lay in its absolute opulence. The interior was upholstered in leather, wool, stainless steel, and even featured a custom perfume atomizer and stainless steel cocktail cups. Each Brougham was hand-assembled, offering Rolls-Royce level luxury. However, hidden beneath the lavish exterior were countless head-scratching technical issues. Its advanced air suspension system was notoriously unreliable, often sagging or collapsing. The electronic features were difficult to maintain, and the car's excessive weight meant even the powerful V8 engine struggled to move it confidently. Only 99 units were produced, and it never achieved mass success because it represented a misguided idea. Too much extravagance isn't always what buyers want. Do you think these crazy ideas contributed to the development of modern automotive safety? Comment yes or no and let us know your thoughts. 1959. Chevrolet El Camino. Chevrolet's 1959 El Camino was a bold idea on paper, combining the utility of a pickup truck with the comfort of a coupe. However, in reality, this vehicle failed to perform well in either role. Built on the Chevrolet Impala platform, it inherited the flamboyant 1950s styling with large tail fins and a low stance, making it look more like a show car than a work vehicle. The El Camino lacked serious hauling capability, featuring a small bed and a ride height too low for true truck duties. Conversely, as a car, its interior was cramped and less refined compared to traditional sedans. It was a fashion statement with no function, an identity crisis on four wheels. 1957. Lincoln Premier. The 1957 Lincoln Premier was a car designed to make a grand statement, with flamboyant styling, chrome everywhere, and a massive presence as if declaring, "I am the pinnacle of American luxury." However, the dream turned into a nightmare when driving. Nearly 19 feet long and weighing over 5,000 pounds, navigating the car through city streets was like a bad dream, and poor visibility made it feel like commanding a ship. Despite its powerful V8 engine, the car remained sluggish and incredibly fuel-thirsty. The luxurious interior lacked innovation compared to its Cadillac rivals. With its high price, oversized chassis, and poor performance, the Premier couldn't compete. It is remembered as a relic of an era that prioritized big, bold, and flashy over refinement and efficiency. 1958. Buick Limited. The 1958 Buick Limited was an off-key attempt by Buick to outdo everything, and it failed. Measuring over 19 feet long and weighing nearly 5,000 pounds, it resembled a yacht more than an automobile, especially during a time of narrow streets and tight parking spaces. Despite its powerful V8 engine, the car had terrible fuel economy, often getting only a few miles per gallon. Its design philosophy was more chrome, more bulk, more flash. But the result was a heavy, expensive, and uncompetitive car. Only about 7,400 units were sold before it was discontinued in 1959. The Limited became a prime example of style over substance. It featured vague and uncontrolled ride quality, and slowing this car down was like dragging an anchor through molasses. 1958. Chevrolet Yeoman. If the 1950s was an era of American automotive excess with tail fins, flashy chrome, and space-age styling, the 1958 Chevrolet Yeoman looked like someone showed up to a fancy party severely underdressed. The Yeoman was born with good intentions, to offer an affordable station wagon for young families. But in an effort to cut costs, Chevrolet stripped away almost everything people loved about their cars. No tail fins, no gleaming chrome, no two-tone paint. The Yeoman looked like a dull gray Lego brick, boxy, simple, monotonous. The interior was even more basic. No air conditioning, no radio, no fake wood grain details. Everything was sacrificed for the sake of price. The problem was, even with all the cuts, the Yeoman still wasn't cheap enough to compete with better-equipped wagons from other brands. Its biggest weakness was its lack of identity. In an era where cars made bold statements, the Yeoman said nothing. It wasn't fast, it wasn't stylish, and it wasn't particularly affordable. It just existed and then quickly vanished from Chevrolet's lineup. It's proof that when you strip away too much, you can strip away the very soul of a car. Thank you so much for watching our video. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with friends who also love classic cars. We'll see you on our next nostalgic journey.